What's up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to finish off Allen Henry Reservoir. We already did the Google Earth waypoints. Hopefully, you guys were able to see those. Now we're going to switch over and we're going to look at it from a web app Navionics side. Had some issues with my cords, so not going to be using the phone. We're just going to use the normal web app, but we still have some really good stuff to uncover. Let's go. So I'm having some troubles with my phone and using the Navionics boating app and getting it to hook into my screen share. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the normal pins and use the phone today. I'm actually going to be using the web app Navionics. So just out here on the browser, and all of you guys can always access this. You just type in webappnavionics.com. It's webapp.navionics.com. That'll take you in there, and then just look for their boating, hashtag boating, and that'll take you to where you need to go. So let's go ahead and jump into Allen Henry. Let's talk about the offshore stuff. And remember, all of these offshore spots that we talk about, I've got all of them marked and on the card. So if you buy the card from simplisticfishing.com, you get all these offshore hotspots that we're talking about today, plus all of the Google Earth waypoints that we talked about in the previous video. And if you missed that video, I'll put a link up to the top so that you guys can check that one out. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's zoom in here to the dam. We're going to do like we normally do. We're going to start at the dam. We're going to work our way east and then work our way around. Hopefully we can get this done in one video today. We will see. If not, we'll come back and do another one. So let's go ahead and start right here at the edge of the dam. First thing, I mean, really to think about when you're looking at this, and this is much easier to look at from the phone. So if you get the phone, the contours are just, for whatever reason, it's just a lot easier on the eyes. But right here, you can tell that there is a major river channel that's coming through here, right? This is the whole river bend right here. You know, it's all going through here. Normally, this would all be colored. Well, this submerged bridge that's out here could definitely have some potential. If you've got spotted bass out here, which you do, you've also got those Alabama bass. Those bass like to basically suspend. So if you can find some cover like a bridge where they can suspend and hang around, that can be a really great area. So definitely looking out here where this submerged bridge is. I know it's some deep water, but don't be scared of it. Those fish like to suspend. All right, so let's go ahead and get out of that really deep stuff. Let's just talk about a couple things back in here. You know, I'm not seeing too much back in here that really catches my attention. The only thing would be right here on this roadbed. Now, I don't have this marked on the card, but if you're out here and you were fishing, you may want to come out here and just scan around this roadbed and see if there's anything left of it that's out there. The next spot is definitely going to be right here. There's a nice little ledge that's being created right here, a nice little point that you can see right in this area, and a nice ledge right here that they're going to be able to hang around. So right in here is going to be a really good spot. Over here off the edge of this point is going to be a good spot. And then when you come in here, there's a couple things in this area that I really like. First off, really, if you look at this creek bed where you see these dotted blue lines, that is the creek bed. And so I'm just going to follow the creek bed down, right? If you follow it down, we come right off the edge of this point that's right here. You can see me circling it with my mouse. Off the edge of that point with the creek bed being there, that's got to be a great place to look. So you definitely want to look around the edge of that point and then also come inside of here. There's something going on right inside of here that's causing some pretty good contours. So my guess is the creek bed may come down here where this blue dotted line is, and Navionics may have it off a little bit, and it may swing pretty hard and come in here and then kind of bounce out. And if it does, that's a really good creek channel swing that's right in here that we just can't see. We can't really make out from the mapping, but it appears that something's definitely going on in there right in that little area. So spend some time there, see what you can find. Then as you go back further up in there, there really wasn't much to see back in that area. Now, as we come off of here, we're going to come off of this point. I really like this point. It's a long tapering point. You can see it comes out pretty far. Really like just fishing around the point. Also on the inside edge, you've got some really good contours right in here. So So you definitely want to check those out. And then I put a mark here definitely on the card. I did not mark this next spot, but definitely something to consider. You've got this creek bed again, see this blue line. These blue lines are just little creek beds. Well, if you look at this creek bed, it swings around the top of this point. So I have this point marked. But go back here, follow the creek bed back, all the way back here to where it comes back and swings in on the inside right in here, and give that a whirl as well. That could actually help, you could actually find something right there as well. And then also move over here. See where this little flat top is right here? And then you've got a really sharp break going on here. Checking out right in here, just get a little bit further off the bank line and see what you can find. These could be little good spots right in there as well. All right, so I'm going to back out. We started at the dam. We went into those spots. We're going to move on down. I didn't see too much in this whole area, right in here, but there are some things as we get further down that we're going to talk about. So here you can see the contours are pretty much staying the same. I'm not saying those aren't good places to fish, just nothing that I can really hone in on to say, hey, this area or this exact spot is probably going to be a good spot for you to take a look at. Now, if you're paying attention, you can see, and maybe it's hard to see on your phone if you're watching this on the phone, but this is your major riverbed coming through here, this dotted line. So when this dotted line comes anywhere close to the bank line, that's the river channel swing, right? So it's going to swing right here. So you can see it swinging, comes here, comes up. I mean, almost the blue lines almost follow it, but it comes up and it swings right in here and it touches right in here. So these areas, these 2 points right in here and right in here are going to be key areas because it's the 2 spots where the river actually gets up close enough to the bank line where it's going to push some debris up and things like that. It's going to have some washout. It's just a really good area to try to find some fish. So definitely check those out. And you've got some flooded timber on this side too. So they could be hanging out in this timber really close to the edge of that river channel. So for sure, go look in those spots. Now, moving on down here, I did mark a couple of these spots. I did like this point, this right here. This one looks really good. You got a nice little ledge. And then back in here, I didn't mark that, but if you're fishing around this point, definitely take some time and maybe come back here and see what this is. I don't know what that spot is right there, but you could definitely take a look and see. All right, so I'm going to move this back just to show you where I'm at. So here's the dam. We moved on back. We went to here. We're going to zoom around here. We're going to talk about really just this area right in here because there's several things right in this area. Let me move that over right in this area that I really like. So let's zoom in here and let's talk about them. All right, so the first one is going to be over here to the right. Now, this on Web App Navionics, it's not as clear and as crisp as you can get on your phone if you get the subscription that I have, or that really anybody can have. But there is a ledge that's over here, and you can see it on the phone for sure. I can't even zoom in far enough on this map to even see it, but you can see it for sure on the phone. It's right in here, and it's really, really sharp. You can almost see it right here. It's very vague, but you can kind of see it right in here. There's a really sharp ledge going on right off the edge of this thing. So definitely a way to check that out. I put a marker there for you. Also put a marker right here. Notice, I've talked about this all the time, but I talk about, the points when they come out and they have those flat tops. Those are just juicy. I mean, they just get me excited when I look at them because they're just great feeding tables for those bass to get up there and chase the shad and all of that stuff. And it's good for the shad to get up on. There's just all kinds of good stuff about it. So you want to go check those out for sure. These are underwater points, so it's not like what you're seeing here. You're gonna come up on this point. For those of you guys that are new, it's not like you're gonna come up here and you're gonna be on land. This is an underwater point. You just got to start visualizing the lake as if it has no water in it, and start looking at the spots where you would go to hang out, and that's typically where the fish would go as well. All right, so we're gonna go in here, and we're gonna move back. I didn't see too much in here. Might have a little pond dam or something going on. Right in this spot, you got some pretty sharp breaks on this, but again, another good point here. So you've got 3 or 4 good spots here. You've got one that's right here. The ledge that I told you is hard to see on this map, but you can see it on your phone. This one right here, this point is excellent. This point is excellent as well. And then this point has flooded timber on it, and it looks really good too. And this one looks even better because on this one, it has a creek bed that runs right off the edge of it. Plus, it's got the river channel swinging fairly close to it. The river channel is right in here somewhere. So it looks like it might be fairly close, but even if it's not, you've got a nice creek bed that's coming right across there at the bottom. So definitely look right in that spot. All right, so let's keep moving up. This is the area we talked about earlier. That's the dam way back there. Let's go up here and let's talk about this little arm real quick. So we're up here in this arm, not too much going on here, just a couple things that I marked for you, and they're pretty much going to be the same ones that other people have marked here, and that's going to be right here. You've got a hump that's out here. It's in pretty deep water. It's like 36 feet, but the depth around it's 55 to 60 feet, or I guess not 60, but yes, 58 feet. So it gets really, really deep. So this hump's coming up really, really fast, and that's going to be in that section right there, right where you see that little circle at. And then the next spot that I marked for you guys is going to be on the outside of this island. So right here around this island, just right here in this area, right in this little section, that is just a really good spot to go take a look at. I wish I could zoom in further. I'd show you, but there's a pretty sharp break going on there. Now, really, that island in general, it looks good pretty much all the way around it. And so if they're off a little bit deeper, maybe they're over here on this side because they can just roam up and down really easily. If they're around feeding, they may be off the front of it, and just feeding off the front. Maybe they're not feeding, or maybe they're still feeding, but they just don't want to be off the front for some reason. Maybe the wind's blowing from the backside, and so now they've got them trapped over here in the saddle. Maybe they're feeding here in the saddle. So fishing all around there, at least going and scanning around there, find your bait fish around that island. That's probably going to lead you to where the activity is going on for that day. Okay, so we're going to keep moving down. I didn't see too much in here. You've got some pretty good points and stuff. Obviously you want to fish all the points, but I don't want to mark every single thing for you guys. So let's keep moving down and let's talk about what I found up here in this little pocket right here. So we're going to move up here, and I'm going to show you just some pretty cool things that were out here. One is going to be right here. If you look really closely, now this may be too deep because it could be like about 40 feet, but right here, right there, where that's underwater hump is right there, you've got a really sharp break that goes into that creek channel. Now, that's pretty far out there, but definitely something you want to take a look at. You've also got some really good pinch points that are just all right in here. Now this, again, the contours here are horrible on this web app map, but I've got them marked for you in the card. Don't worry. I've got one right here where you can see it gets really sharp and close to the bank line. It looks a lot better than that on the phone. You've also got some really good spots here where this little pinch point is. So where this creek bed comes in, it all kind of pinches up really close together. I've got this point marked, and as well as this area right in here. So really good spots. This could be a good spot, good flat to come back and fish around in as well. So just some good stuff that was back there in that corner. All right, so let's keep moving. We're going to move on down the lake. There wasn't too much. I'm trying to talk to you right now as I'm looking at the waypoints for Alan Henry to make sure I'm not missing anything here, but there wasn't too much as we moved down through this bank line. It's all kind of pretty much the similar thing as I'm going through there, but there were a couple things that I kind of liked, and so I just want to show you those really quick and see what we can find here. So hold on just a second. So we're going to come down here where this little island is, which I must have gone to. Oh, the island's way over there. So I went too far on my phone. Now I'm getting all confused. So I'm going to go back to where this bridge is. The next spot's going to be right here. I got this top of this spot marked right here off the top of this point. Really, really like that area. I like how you have that nice flat top. You've got the submerged bridge that's fairly close to it. You got a really good big breakdown. So all of that just looks really, really good. Now, as we move further up, so we're going to come up from that corner, the next spot's going to be right up in here. And the reason why I like this, again, is that creek channel swing or the river channel, right? So the river channel's right here. Here's the river channel swing. It swings right up here against the point here, or the river bend, whatever you want to call it. But that's going to give you some really deep, bluffy type, shoreline. So you definitely want to look right in there. That's going to be a good wintertime place to go look at as well. Now, as we move over and we get across the main arm right here, so we're going to come across here. The next thing that I have marked for you is really right in here where this point is. So if I come in here and zoom in, you're going to see why. Hopefully you already see it right now as we're talking about it, but it's right here, right off the top of this. You can see that we've got a nice flat top, some flooded timber in there as well. It's really close to the river channel. The river's kind of bending and swinging really close to here. This point right in here, this area, excellent place to try to find some fish for sure. So we're going to move back. We're going to come back down. Now we've got some islands that are out here and things like that. Obviously fishing around those is always fun. Always seems to be a good place to catch fish. And I didn't see anything too special about this island. There's maybe some pinch points back in here, or maybe fishing off the edge of it, but nothing crazy that I can mark for you. So I skipped that one, and I actually went down and I marked this little point right here. And you're like, why would you? This looks so much better. Well, for whatever reason, to me, to my eye, that one doesn't look better. This one looks good. Why does this one look good? If you look at that little dotted line right there, again, that is your river, and your river is swinging right up against this point. So a great place for them to stop, feed, all that good stuff. Definitely a good place, high percentage place to find some fish. Now, as we move a little bit further down, I'm going to show you guys where I'm at right here. We're going to move a little bit further down by this little island down here. A couple of things that I liked about this. Now, believe it or not, I didn't really mark anything around this island. It's got some really good contours and stuff that go around it, but nothing that I could really, get too excited about. But what I did like is I actually liked the little one. I like the little one a little bit better, only because if you look where the river channel is, it swings and it gets really, really tight to that second hump. So I'm thinking that second hump or second island might be really good. When you're fishing around these, don't forget to go back behind them, especially like here. This has got a really good saddle at 8 feet. You might be able to find some fish right in there for sure that a lot of people will pass up because they're fishing the front side of that. All right, so let's keep moving back and let's see what we can find. Now we're going to go in this little arm that's back here. And maybe it's really not a little arm, but we're going to go in the arm that's back here of Gobbler Creek. And we're going to just explore and see what we can find back here. I had a couple points, really just 2 of them. So I want to show those to you. The first one is going to be right here. If I zoom in behind this island, you guys know I like those saddles. It's going to be right here. Just the saddle of that island looks good. Now, if you're fishing around that island, come out here as well, because clearly you've got a creek bed over here that's getting really close to the edge of this island, so that can be good. And even over here, you've got this creek bed kind of swinging this way. And so right in here off the edge of that point could be good too. The other spot that I picked for you back in here in this creek is really going to be right over in here, right here. So if I move this over, zoom this in, you're going to see this flooded timber, right? So you've got this flooded timber that's off the top of this point. It looks really good, man. It looks like somewhere they could really get up and feed and hang out. And when they're done, they could drop off to here and be completely done. And then in the wintertime, they may actually not even go up there. They may stay over here where it's a lot deeper. And you've got that creek channel swinging right up against this area. So just this area here, I mean, there's lots of good things here. I mean, you've got this spot, you've got the top of this point, you've got the swing here, and you've got the swing here. So you got 3 or 4 different places that you could definitely go look for them. And while you're out here, I didn't notice this on my phone, but worthy of taking a look at, go look right in here where this little roadbed is. See if there's some rock, some debris, something like that you might be able to find that's back there. All right, we're going to pull out of there, come completely out of that creek. Hopefully you guys are able to follow me. This thing winds around quite a bit. But as we move down the main channel here, we're going to come and we're going to stop right here on this point. This is the next spot that I marked for you. Now, doesn't look like anybody's marked anything here, but again, paying close attention to where the river bends are, this is going to be a really good point to fish around. So you definitely want to go fish around there, see what you can find. And then we're going to go up this arm. Now, this arm, the river channel is definitely a lot bigger in this arm than the other arms. And this looks like it's the Double Mountain Fork Brazos River. So that's why it's looking so giant to me. I was like, this must be the major river channel. So that is why that point looks so good too. So you got this major river, right? Major river coming down right across that point and then swinging down here. Now we're going to talk about that side later, but right in here, that's again, what's making that point look so attractive to me. So we're going to move on up. We're going to go up the river here. And as we get in here, one place that I liked was right here. Again, it's where the river's swinging and it's getting really close to the bank line. I think this kind of brings you back to my Missouri days when I was fishing on Table Rock, but always loved to fish those river channel swings, especially in the wintertime when I needed some really good depths. And this is a really good spot to look. Now, it's not to say that you're not going to be able to come up here and catch fish off these points up here either. So, go around, spend some time, see what you can find. But I think those areas are going to be good for you. And there's one more swing up here again that looks really good. And that's going to be the one that's right up here with a pretty good little flat on it and everything. So here's the big swing, right? Here's the big swing. It's coming in and it's nailing it right here and it's hitting it right here. So both these spots right here, plus you've got a creek bed. And if you look right here, you've almost got a little flat that's out here too. So with some flooded timber that could suspend up here, go out here and chow down, come back and suspend. Just a really good spot to go look for them and see if you can find anything. So we're going to go farther back in here. This is going to take us way back in here. We're going to swing around, and I had one more spot that I wanted to show you guys that was back here, and I think it was right off the edge. That thing swings there, and it goes into a split down here, and right before the split, it's going to be right up in here. Let's go ahead and just look at this real quick and just see. Now, one thing I didn't notice is right here, you got a pretty decent flat, so you could look at that. As you're coming around these little swings, pay attention and fish these little points that are back here. Those are going to be good. And then really the last thing I think I wanted to show you, and I can't seem to find it on this spot right here, but I think it's going to be right in here. So you can see where the river channel is coming right here. Here's the depth of it. Hopefully you guys can see this, but those dotted lines come up and it really hits this area right in here really hard, this point really hard. So fishing right around this point, again, that's going to be a place that I would definitely take a look at. Now moving back, I didn't see anything too much further back in here from an offshore standpoint. So I'm not going to mark anything that's further back in here. It gets kind of shallow and things like that, a little bit rough to really say offshore. Not to say there's not offshore stuff back there, but I'm sure that you could find, you could find some stuff. But I'm going to keep moving back. We're going to come back up to the next spot that I want you to look at, and that's going to be right here off the edge of this little point. This looks really good. Nice little drop off, really close to the creek bed again. And then we're going to move up. We're going to swing all the way out of the river channel almost. We're going to come pretty far up here around this little bend right here. And again, pointing out the bends, here, river channel bend swinging, coming up really close to these two little points. So maybe just looking right in there or moving on down and checking out right before that bluff starts, so fishing right in there as well. And we talked about, fishing the inside of these points too. So then we're going to swing around. We talked about that little spot that was right there. Then we're going to come down to the next spot again. Where does it hit? Well, it hits right in here. Your waypoint that I put is right in here because I like to fish right where it starts or right where it stops. That seems to be a higher percentage area for me. So right in this spot right here would be a higher percentage area for me. And that's what I have marked for you guys as well. So then we're going to come out. You're probably like, man, this is crazy and it's hard to follow. I think we may be able to get this done since we're rocking and rolling now. We're going down the other side here pretty soon. But let's see what we can finish. I like this right in here. This little point right here I have marked for you as well. And then moving on down into this creek arm, we get down in here. This is the Rocky Creek. I really am just marking more bends for you guys. So right here, also right here where this bend is, really liked that one. Down here where this bend is, that one's marked as well. And then we get a little bit further down. I have one more mark for you guys that's down in here, and that's going to be actually two more. One's going to be right in here, just kind of exploring right in here. I don't know if you're going to find much in here, but you do have a little bit of a swing there. And then the last part would definitely be down in here where you've got the submerged culvert and stuff. Just want you to go check that out where that roadbed is and all that good stuff. See if you can find anything down there. Then we're going to come up the other side. Now this is where it's going to get pretty crazy because we're going to skip a lot of stuff right in here. But again, I've got the waypoints out there for you so you guys can check it out. We do have this waypoint right here that comes off of this little point. So if you look at here on this arm, this Rocky Creek arm, this point comes out. It's got creek beds on both sides, so it looks really, really good. Definitely somewhere you want to go take a look at and go fish. And then coming up, we're going to see one more point coming up this side right here. Again, this looked a little bit better on the phone, but had a really nice little ledge kind of going on right in here that's set up really well. So I thought, you know what, you might want to check right in there because that could be a good spot that most people, I think, would overlook. So we're going to go back out. We're going to go all the way back up to the main arm up here. And as we're moving up, I really didn't see too much, coming in through here. There's some stuff that definitely I would check out if I was just going exploring. I would look back here. This looks pretty interesting, how it kind of goes around here. You got the nice little swing here, plus you got a nice little point there and an island. So I'd probably check that out. But going up, not seeing too much on this side. I had to get pretty far up the river before I found something on this side that really caught my attention. So let me go ahead and get up there and show you guys. We're going to go around the second bend here. So we're going to move on up here. We're going to go all the way up here to the second bend. We're going to swing down, and it's going to be right here. So let me zoom in and show you guys right here. Notice that nice little tabletop on that point. That point's coming right off of some really, really deep water. So they have nice, quick access to deep water. Plus they got this creek bed that's over back in here. That just looks like it could be a very salty little situation going on back in there for sure to find some nice ones. And also this point that's right here too. This one looks good. And this point looks good. So you got you got 3 different points right here, all kind of really close to that creek channel, close to the main river channel as well. So just really good high percentage areas again to find them. Now I also like this point right up here. This one looks really good. Have that one marked for you guys as well. And then as we move up, didn't see too much else on this little river arm because most of the action's going on the other side. But let's zoom in and just kind of make sure we didn't miss anything here. I didn't see anything too crazy. I mean, yeah, but not like high percentage on most of those. Now, right in here, this could have some potential. So definitely you want to fish that little point right in there and just see. You're going to have to get pretty deep. You're going to have to get off a little ways, but just see if maybe, possibly something's hanging out in that area. And if not there, then maybe come over here where you see these little flat tops and just kind of check this out, just scanning right in here and just seeing if you can find any activity, any brush piles or rock piles that have been washed up, anything like that. You're just looking for any type of an opportunity that you might have there. So we're going to go ahead and swing around here. We're going to get into this next arm. I'm not sure which arm this one is. Hopefully it'll tell me a name here pretty soon. But we're going to go on down here. We're just going to look. I've got really 3 spots that are back in here. The first spot's going to be right here off the edge of this little island. Really not the edge, but more the saddle. So right in here in the middle of those islands and the back side of this island. I think that's where you're going to have just some really productive areas right in that spot. And then also down in the bottom, we've got a couple more spots back down here that I've marked for you. One of them is going to be right in here, right here where this creek channel swing is. This looks really, really good when it gets more detailed. And right here, this looks really good. And then the last spot, my apologies for trying to hurry because I know this has been a long video, but we've got the creek bed that comes through here. We've got a really good point right here with that creek bed swinging right off the outside of it. So checking out this point and also probably checking out this point. Those are going to be 2 good spots to go look at. So we've just got a few more left. So let's go ahead and see if we can finish this up in this video. We're going to move on up a little bit further and we're going to talk about a couple more spots here that I've marked for you, and they're marked on Navionics as well for a good reason. They just look like really good points. One's going to be a good point right here. I would definitely fish that one. In this area right here, where again, the river channel's swinging up, getting really close, just right in that little spot, just like a little mini point, I guess you could say, but definitely go look at that. Now we're going to swing around. We're going to get around more to the main to the main lake here, and we're going to swing all the way down here, and we're going to get more into where this boat ramp is for our next spot that I've marked for you, and that's going to be right in this little section right here. Zoom in here and make sure I mark the right stuff for you. It's going to be right off the edge. Well, this is strange because this does look quite a bit different, but right here, you see the edge of this dock, that big old break that's right there? I'm thinking that's got to have some juice to it. So checking out right in there, and maybe checking out that little point right there, maybe just exploring a little bit. It's got a nice little underwater point that comes out close to that creek bed, so that one has potential. And then hopefully you're staring at it as I'm talking about it, and you already know where the next spot I'm going to go, but giant flat, right? Got to go there. This looks good. This looks like a really, really good one. Creek channels on both sides. Nice, big, flat, go fish around, explore. Just a good old times type flat. And then we're going to swing around off of that flat. We're going to come back in here. I like this spot right here. Basically, it's I don't see that little fish up. I do see that fish. It's right where that little fish is. So right where that red fish is. Now you're saying, why do you like that? I like how steep it is. These are going to be the lot steeper bank lines, right? They got some really, really good depth to them. So I would definitely go look at those. And then we're going to move down. We're going to get further down in here. And really, you're just going to follow, for the most part, most of these little red fishes, but not all of them. So let's just talk about them really quick. The first one is going to be right here off of this little point. And you've got a road bed, juicy for sure. The next one is really going to be, I don't like this giant flat and where they have stuff marked. This could be catfish around as well. Maybe, possibly, I'm not sure, but you can check them out. They're little bitty humps, but go check them out if you want to. I did mark them, but I'm not 100% confident in those, but I did put them out there because you just never know. Sometimes you'll bypass those and they'll be the best spot on the lake. I do like this spot right here where this little point comes out and touches this creek channel. I would explore in there for sure. Don't have that one marked for you, but I do have, again, those two humps marked for you. And then as we come back in here, we've got about 4 different spots that are back in this little arm back here. And what we're going to do is I think it said it was Grape Creek. Thought I saw that somewhere. Grape something creek. Anyways, we're going to go down here. This is the next spot. I really like this right off of this point and right here. So you basically just hitting the swings, right? Just paying attention to where the swings are. There's a couple more swings as we go down here. There's some right here off the edges of these points. I have a couple more marks down here as we follow. We're going to have another mark right down here, another one right in there. And really, again, just paying attention to where those creek channels are swinging. That's the main thing that we're looking for. And then if we go on up the bank line here, we already covered all of this. There's only 2 more spots to go over, and we will hit them right here really, really quickly. And that is going to be right here where you see all this depth going on, just right there in that spot. I would do some exploring there and see what you can find. And there's a road bed that's a little bit further up here. And when we get up here, there's a submerged culvert to check out. Actually, I went too far here. Let me go back to the other road bed. Right here, this road bed right here comes off the edge of this point. So definitely look at that. So my apologies for not being able to show this to you on the mobile app, but hopefully this has helped you guys out a ton. I know it was a long video, but we got Alan Henry offshore spots done in one video, which is truly amazing. So anyways, make sure to go out, check out the website, simplisticfishing.com. I've got all these waypoints on a card for you. You just put them in your graph. You're off and running. I'll give you the Google Earth file as well, so you can do exploring, modifying the files, all that good stuff. I'm telling you, it's definitely worth your money. It will save you a ton of time. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.